Dear learner, my name is Dr. Mohammad Nazim, faculty in the Department of Library and Information Science, Aligarh Muslim University. We were discussing about the information retrieval system, and in some of the previous classes, we have discussed about the conceptual analysis and subject representation, which is one of the important function of any information retrieval system. The performance of information retrieval system can be measured on the basis of recall and precision. And for the effective information retrieval system, there should be a balance between the recall and precision. The high recall is dependent on the properly and accurately describing the thought content of the document and including as many keywords as they can define completely the thought content of the document. And the precision, high precision is depend on the accurate representation of the subject, that is selecting only those keywords which are basically representing the subject of a document. So obviously there is a very challenging task to balance the recall and precision. And we know that the indexing process is based on conceptual analysis and subject representation. And indexing or index are the important aspects of any kind of indexing system. So with this background, today in this lecture we are going to discuss the index and indexing. And in this lecture we will try to cover the aspects, that is the concept, objective, and the importance of index and indexing. So by the end of this lecture, learners will be able to define the concept of index and indexing. They will be able to explain the purpose of indexing. They will be able to describe the historical development of indexing. And in the end, they will be able to analyze the role of indexing in information retrieval systems. So we can say with the growth of information, the digital information and the printed information, it is difficult to organize information in information retrieval system. And on the other side, user need quick and accurate information from the information retrieval systems, from the collections. And in this way, the indexing help identifying and representing the subject content of the document systematically. And index, basically the outcome of the indexing process act as a guide that direct user to relevant information sources of information. And indexing is the process of assigning the terms, the subject heading, the keyword, or any kind of notational symbol just to describe the thought content which are presented in the document. And ultimately the effective indexing improves the efficiency, precision, and accessibility of information from the information retrieval system. So in this way, indexing forms the backbone of library databases, search engines, and digital libraries and digital information systems. So with this background, we will try to define certain terms which are used in the indexing process, and then we will try to discuss the concept of indexing and index and different types of indexes which are used in the information retrieval process or in information retrieval system. So first of all, it is important to know the meaning of the index. Index as can be defined as a guide to content of the document or collection of document with the same format which are arranged in searchable order such as alphabetical order, classified order, or chronological order, or sometimes numerical order, because main entries sometimes arranged according to the number. Then indexing is the process of providing in-depth access to information contained with a document of knowledge record. An index entry is a single record in an index. Index entry can be defined as the single record in an index that may consist of 4 parts, that is main heading, subheading, locator, or cross-reference. So an index entry may be consist of different parts, and these parts are main heading also called the access point. There may be subheadings which can define the context of the main heading, and a specific number or location where this particular term or subject may be found in the document or in the collection. And sometimes it is not possible to include the complete concept of the document in one main heading. So that is why some other cross references are used to direct the user to find the document in the collection and information retrieval system. Then descriptor is a term which is designed for use by the thesaurus to represent the aboutness of a topic in a document. A document can be defined any item that contain information either in print or non-print form, including digital document. And identifier can be a proper name of person, object, institution, organization, process. So sometimes we say content identifier or document identifier. So document identifier may be the name of person that who create the document, maybe an object, maybe an institution, maybe organization, and process. Now another important term which is used in the indexing process or indexing system is the vocabulary control. The process of organizing a list of terms for use in indexing along with some rules for use is called vocabulary control. Indexing language can be defined any vocabulary control or uncontrolled for use for indexing along with the rules of uses. And an indexing system is a set of prescribed procedure intended for organizing the content of a document for the process of retrieval of information and dissemination of information. Subject representation or translation of the subject into indexing language or classificatory language can be defined as the process of converting the concept which is derived from the document into particular set of index terms, usually derived from the controlled vocabulary tools like thesaurus, like list of subject heading, or sometimes from the classification scheme. Keyword can be defined as raw word which is extracted from the document that is used as an indexable term. And qualifier is a term or phrase added to heading to distinguish among homograph or clarify the meaning of the main word or main heading which is used as an index entry point. So now come to the concept of index. The term index has been derived from the Latin word indicare, which means to indicate or to point out something. It refers to guide to a particular concept in a document. So the index is not a new term for us. We know about the value of index. There may be a book index that can be inserted at the end of the book, where the important terms which are discussed in the book can be listed in alphabetical order along with the page number. So we can easily identify a particular word in the index of the book, and then we can easily locate that concept in the book by just getting the page number where it has been discussed in the book. So an index is a systematic list of terms, names, subjects. So index may be prepared for different purposes, for just including the terms. So there may be different kinds of index on the basis of this systematic list, that is terms, that is keyword, names, that is author index, subject index. So it may be a list of terms that are included in a particular document or group of document, names, that is the different names of the organization, name of the institution, name of the authors, and subject, that is the actual representation of the thought content of the document. It provides a reference point to locate a document or find information in either in book or journals or databases. So now the different authorities have defined the concept of index. According to Roy, index can be defined as an item which contained in or concept derived from a collection. And these items or derived concepts are represented by entries which are arranged in known or stated searchable order. So here the collection in this context can be defined as the documentary sources mean any body of material indexed, maybe a simple or composite text, a group of such text, a set of such representation, etc. An entry mean basic unit of an index and would consist of different things like a means of identifying an item or concept which is derived from the collection, and a means of locating the item or material related to the concept. So in this way, index is in this particular sense can be defined as an indicator of the content, that try to indicate the content which are included in any book, journals and database along with its location, and making a mechanism for easily locating that items in the collection or in the database. So another definition by Chakravarti, index is a systematic guide to the items of a collection or the concept derived from the collection or a document, and it comprises entries which are arranged in a known and searchable order with references to show where each item indexed is located. Another definition by British Standard is the systematic guide. The index can be defined as a systematic guide to the location of words, concept, or other items in a book, periodical, or the publications, to enable user to find them quickly together with to show where each item is located. So in simple word, on the basis of the analysis of these definitions, what we can say, an index is a systematic guide which include the words, the concept which are discussed in a book, in the periodical or in the publications, along with the location of each word which is appeared in different kinds of documents and different kinds of collections. So there may be two important things. On the one side, in the index, if we want to see the physical structure of the index, on the one side you will be find the different listing of words and concept, and on the other side you will find the location of those items, and this location may be given in different format. If it is a book index, then page number may be given. If it is a relative index of a particular classification scheme, then you will find a notation, and you can go to the schedule of the scheme and find that concept which is listed in the scheme of classification. So location may be the page number, the location may be a notation, a location may be a number, that is entry number. For example, in the abstracting journals, the location may be the entry number. So location can be indicated by the number, by the notation, and by the page number, depending upon the nature of the index. Now, we need to understand the purpose and structure of the index. The ultimate purpose of the index is to locate and retrieve the needed information, a needed item or concept in a collection, in a document, in a database. So that can be extended, not only the collection, but it depend on the nature of index, for which purpose an index is prepared. When we talk about the structure of index, an index is consist of entries, and each entry is a unit of an index, and these entries are arranged in systematic order. So an index consists of two parts that we have already discussed. That is the descriptive part, which gives item, ideas and concept, and the location part provide the location where the item or the concept have been discussed or is available. Now, come to that introduction of indexing. So we can distinguish these two aspects, that is index and indexing. Index is the product of the indexing process. So indexing is a process. Preparing the index is the indexing. So why we need to prepare index? Because information is growing rapidly and in almost all kind of format, maybe the printed, maybe the digital, and we need a quick information, and in this way indexing is an important activity in information retrieval process, in information retrieval system, for the proper organization of information. Any information retrieval system performs three important activities. The first is the acquisition and the collection of information. The second activity is the organization of information and documents. And third is the dissemination and retrieval of information. So organization is an important part of the information retrieval process or information retrieval system. The document can be organized, the micro document like book can be organized using the cataloging and classification. But the micro document, which includes the journals, periodicals, we need to do the process of indexing for the organization of content of the document. Similarly, in the digital information environment, the indexing is essentially required. So catalog tells us what you will find in the physical library building, the whole document, that is we call the macro document. But index tell you what you will find inside a document, that is part of document and the micro document. So if we want to search something in the library building, then catalog will tell you whether this item is available in the library or not, and if it is available, it will tell you the location of that document. But if you are searching information inside the document, that is in the periodical, because periodical is not a complete unit in itself. It includes different articles which may discuss different aspects. So you may be interested in a few articles on a particular subject, and these articles may be included in different journals. So locating a few articles on a topic from different journals is one of the difficult tasks, and in this way indexing tell you what you will find inside the document. So indexing in this way is a key tool for efficient information retrieval, particularly from the documents and from the databases. So indexing can be defined as the process of analyzing the document, the content of the document, and on the basis of the analysis of the content of the document, identifying key concept that can represent the subject of the document, and then on the basis of identification of the key concept which are representative to the content of the document, we can assign a few appropriate index terms. So this is basically the indexing process. Three important aspects can be considered as the indexing process, that is analysis of the thought content of the document, and on the basis of the analysis we can identify a few concepts that must be representative to the thought content of the document, and finally these key concepts can be converted into the index term, and this conversion may be using controlled or uncontrolled vocabulary. If we are using certain controlled vocabulary tool like list of subject heading and thesaurus, then it is controlled vocabulary. If we are directly taking the keywords or index term from the document, then this is uncontrolled vocabulary. So in this way, it converts document content into a searchable form. So indexing is used in different kinds of systems, including libraries, where we need to do the indexing of periodicals or periodical literature. It is used in databases, for example, in online public access catalog, where at the time of data entry you need to assign certain subjects that must be representative to the content which are discussed in the book, and they are used in the search engines like Google. So it is as a fundamental tool for organizing an information retrieval in almost libraries, databases, and search engines. And indexing involves creating an ordered list of keyword, topics, authors, and accompanied by pointers such as page number, document IDs, or sometimes today in the digital environment an URL or DOI, and direct user to specific data, page, content, or item. So what is the purpose of indexing? The main purpose of indexing are to provide easy access to information. Easy access to information means it enables user to quickly locate relevant information from the large collection of information or from a large volume of document. It ultimately saves the times of the user by reducing the efforts and time which is required to find needed information. Just take an example. You may ask to collect 50 articles on the topic digital library from the periodicals. If this assignment given to you, and suppose there is no indexing system, there is no database technology, then what you will do? You will try to go to the library and then try to see all the periodical which are related to this particular aspect like library and information science or digital library. Then started scanning each issue of periodicals one by one, and then after a tedious efforts, maybe 15 days or maybe 1 month, you may be able to find 50 articles on digital library concept. But think about indexing process, not using database, even not using database or internet or online database. You just try to use library and information science abstract, which is in printed format. Then you will easily identify 50 articles by using subject index of the library and information science abstract, and then after noting down the bibliographic detail of each article, you will go to the library, and then maybe within 1 day you will be able to identify 50 articles from the library. But if you are using online database like Scopus or Web of Science, then you can just make a search and find the articles, and sometimes you need not to go to the library because your library may subscribe to different online journals, or some of the journals may be online, may be open access. Then you will not only able to find the bibliographic detail on the computer screen, but also you will be able to find the complete article on your computer screen. So ultimately, indexing reduces the efforts and time which is required to find needed information. It is also very important for the organization of large collection of information and for the arrangement of documents systematically for the efficient storage and retrieval purpose. And ultimately, indexing improves search efficiency, that it enhances the accuracy and relevance of the search results. Now come to the functions of the indexing. So there are different functions like organization of information, not need to discuss in detail because we have already discussed. Represent document content, that the conceptual analysis is the process of indexing, and then the next is the representation of the document content. Facilitate search and access, and it support information retrieval in libraries, in databases, or in search engines. And if we talk about the importance of information retrieval system, indexing improves precision, that is accuracy of result. Recall, that is completeness of results. So what is the difference between the precision and recall? This is very important to discuss. Recall means that you are able to retrieve all the relevant document on a subject, on a topic. And precision means that accurately you are finding the documents which are represented to your information need. So sometimes we need higher recall and sometimes we need high precision, depending upon the purpose of searching and locating information. Suppose if you are searching information for the purpose of review of literature on a particular topic, then you need higher recall. And suppose you want to know something that is the trend in a particular subject or particular special area. For just giving a lecture to the student, then you need high precision. That is, you need a few relevant document which can fulfill your information need. So indexing ultimately improve the precision as well as recall. And in almost all kinds of information retrieval system, there are some facilities that you can either broaden your search or you can narrow down your search by using different kinds of search strategies. It is important for search efficiency and for the satisfaction of the users regarding their information need. So how this indexing system evolved during that different period of time. And we can discuss in the context of the different kinds of documents, because we know during the early period there were manuscripts, that is the handwritten document, and at that time there was no formal indexing system, and the information or the manuscripts are located through manual searching. But then when the printed books started publishing, then there was a need of the printed indexes, particularly the alphabetical arrangement and use of page number found in the books and encyclopedia. So you can see the encyclopedia includes the indexes. Every book include at the end the index, so that you can easily locate information from the books, from the handbooks, from the encyclopedia. So this new trend started when the documents started publishing in the printed format. Then come to the modern indexing systems, and this is possible when a large number of information or periodical started publishing, large number of books started being publishing, then it's become very difficult for bibliographic control. So for bibliographic control, bibliographies started, the compilation of bibliographies started, and in the bibliography, along with different kinds of index, a subject index is also provided. Then abstracting services being started in different subjects like chemical abstract, like library and information abstract. Then we need to have the indexing system in the abstracting and indexing services. And ultimate purpose was to control vocabulary system and standard indexing rules. They have developed during this modern indexing period, which started during 1950s to after 1950s. Then the next phase is the automatic indexing phase, where it is difficult to analyze the thought content of each and every document manually. It is very cost-effective affair, and it required the expertise and the intellectual activity. So with the introduction of the computer, the automatic indexing is possible, and this is called computer based indexing, where the computer can automatically extract the important words from the title of the document or from the complete text of the document, and that documents can be included in the inverted file of that computer based indexing system or information retrieval system. So automatic indexing, early automated indexing include computer-based indexing, where the title of the document is considered as important point where from the important terms can be extracted. When the artificial intelligence and natural language processing tools have been developed, and they are very important because they also understand the intent and the behavior and pattern of search of information of the users, and they are very much relevant in the modern context, and we can easily do the indexing of large amount of document without with limited efforts by using these kinds of technologies and techniques. Now come to the conclusion. Index, as we can define, is a guide to information, and it acts as a roadmap that directs user to exact location of that information within a document or even within a collection. And we have seen that indexing is the process of representing document content. It has evolved from manual to digital system depending upon the nature of the document. Because in the early time, the documents were in the printed form, then printed indexing systems were available. When the documents were available in digital form, it's become very easy for the computer to extract the word from the title as well as from the complete text and include in the inverted file of the information retrieval system. It is very important for effective information retrieval system that indexing is very important, that we have discussed. Without indexing, locating relevant information from the collection, from the document, or even from the database is difficult or insufficient. So indexing is the backbone of the information retrieval system. So we will discuss in the next class the different types of indexing systems or different kinds of indexes. So with this, now these are the different sources that can be consulted for further detail. For example, an introduction to subject heading. This is a very relevant book by A.G. Brown. Another important book where you will find this topic is the Subject Approach to Information by A.C. Foskett. And you will find some relevant detail of this topic in the book Introduction to Modern Information Retrieval System by G.G. Chaudhary. So with this, thank you very much.